Hello and welcome to the another episode of today's GK program. Let's begin with the previous day question. And the question was, consider the following statements regarding World Migratory Bird Day 2023. Statement 1, it is celebrated every year on 12th May. And statement 2, the theme of this year is water and its importance for migratory bird. Which of these statement or statements given above is or are correct? A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, or D neither 1 nor 2? And the answer was option B 2 only. Recently, the World Migratory Bird Day 2023 was celebrated on 13th May. It is an annual awareness-raising campaign highlighting the need for the conservation of migratory birds and their habitats. Every year, people around the world take action and organize public events such as bird festivals, education programs, exhibitions, and bird-watching excursions to celebrate the day. All these activities can also be undertaken at any time of the year because the countries or regions observe the peak of migrations at different times. But the main days for the international celebrations on the second Saturday in May and in October. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. The theme for the day is water and its importance for migratory bird, as water is fundamental to life on our planet. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Okay, let's start today's session. And the first question is, Data Governance Quality Index is released by A. Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office or DMEO, Niti Aayog. B. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. C. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, or D. Comptroller and Auditor General of India. And the correct answer is A. Recently, the Data Governance Quality Index or DGQI assessment for 2022-2023 third quarter was released. The survey to prepare this index is conducted by the Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office or DMEO, Niti Aayog. It aims to measure the maturity level of administrative data systems and their use in decision-making of various ministries and departments on the implementation of Central Sector Schemes or CS and Centrally Sponsored Schemes, that is CSS. The DGQI assessment covers 6 pivotal themes including data generation, data quality, use of technology, data analysis, use and dissemination, data security, and HR capacity and case studies. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question. With reference to mission DefSpace, consider the following statements. 1. Its goal is to make India Atmanirbhar in defense technologies in the space domain. And 2. It will encourage technology development in space for defense applications by startups and young entrepreneurs through defense space challenges. You have to select the correct statement with the help of the given options, and options are A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, or D neither 1 nor 2. And the correct answer is option C both 1 and 2. Recently, Innovations for Defense Excellence or IDEX, the flagship initiative of Ministry of Defense, has reached a milestone with the signing of its 250th contract, first under Mission DefSpace and 100th Sprint Navy contract. The Mission DefSpace, in an ambitious effort to develop innovative solutions for the 3 services, that is Indian Air Force, Navy and Army, in the space domain through the Indian industry and startups. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Mission DefSpace was launched by the Prime Minister during Def Expo in October 2022. It will encourage technology development in space for defense applications by startups and young entrepreneurs through 75 defense space challenges launched across various departments for defense production, that is DDP initiatives. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Meri Life Mera Swachh Shehar is an initiative of which of the following ministries or institutions? A. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. B. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. C. Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, or D. Niti Aayog. And the correct answer is option B, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Recently, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched the Meri Life Mera Swachh Shehar campaign. It is launched to champion the 3 R's of waste management. These are reduce, reuse and recycle. The 3 R's form the backbone of waste to wealth and has empowered many craftsmen, recyclers, self-help groups, entrepreneurs, startups, etc. to recycle waste into a host of products. This nationwide campaign aims to highlight cities to set up reduce, reuse, recycle or 3R centers, one-stop collection centers for citizens to contribute clothes, shoes, old books, toys and used plastic to be reused or recycled. After collection, these items will be given to different stakeholders to be refurbished for reuse or would be made into new products. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question. Recently seen in the news, the Palak Lake comes under which biodiversity hotspot? A. Indo-Burma Biodiversity Hotspot. B. The Sundaland. C. The Western Ghats. Or D. The Himalayas. And the answer is option A. Indo-Burma Biodiversity Hotspot. Recently, a nature walk was organized along the Palak Lake, Aizawl, Mizoram by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The Palak Lake Wetland Conservation Area is rich in biodiversity and falls under the Indo-Burma Biodiversity Hotspot. The biodiversity hotspots are home to thousands of irreplaceable species that are facing multiple urgent threats. There are currently 36 recognized biodiversity hotspots. These are Earth's most biologically rich yet threatened terrestrial regions. To qualify as a biodiversity hotspot, an area must meet two strict criteria. One is contain at least 1,500 species of vascular plants found nowhere else on Earth, known as endemic species. And the second is have lost at least 70% of its primary native vegetation. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question. Recently seen in the news, the term Palghat Gap is a narrow passage in the Valley of Flowers, Uttarakhand, a mountain pass in the Himalayas, a discontinuity in the Western Ghats, or a gap in the Namcha Barwa Peak. And the correct answer is option C, a discontinuity in the Western Ghats. Recently, the Palghat Gap or the Palakkad Gap was seen in the news. The Palghat Gap, which is often called as a significant discontinuity in the Western Ghats, is about 40 km wide with the steep Nilgiris and Annamalai hills. The Palghat Gap has historically been important as a significant gateway into the state of Kerala. The Bharatpuja River flows through it. It contrasts to the tropical rainforest of the Western Ghats. The vegetation in the Palghat Gap is classified as dry evergreen forest. The gap is a geological shear zone that turns from east to west. The shear zones are weak regions in the Earth's crust. This is the reason why tremors are sometimes felt in the region Coimbatore. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. 2022 report on international religious freedom is released by which of the following? A. US Department of State. B. International Association for Religious Freedom. C. Center for Public Justice. Or D. Alliance Defending Freedom. And the correct answer is option A, US Department of State. Recently, the Religious Freedom Report named India, Russia, China as nations that continue to target faith community members. The US Department of State submits an annual report to Congress on international religious freedom in compliance with the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. This report, also known as the International Religious Freedom Report, describes the status of religious freedom, government policies violating religious belief and practices of groups, religious denominations and individuals. The report covers the period between January 1 and December 31 of the previous calendar year. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following options about an Indian state. 1. It celebrates the statehood on 16th May. 2. It is located in the northeastern part of the country. And 3. It was created as a full state by the 36th Amendment of the Constitution. Identify the state from the following. A. Tripura, B. Sikkim, C. Arunachal Pradesh, or D. Manipur. And the correct answer is option B. Sikkim. Recently, the state of Sikkim commemorated its statehood day on 16th May to acknowledge its integration with India and its emergence as the 22nd state in the country. In the 17th century, the Namgyal dynasty formed the Kingdom of Sikkim in the northeastern part of the country. The kingdom was made a protectorate of the British Empire in 1890. The dynasty continued to function under the Chogyal Buddhist priest kings. The Sikkim Prime Minister requested that Sikkim become a state of India in a petition to the Indian Parliament in 1975. Sikkim became a state in India and the monarchy was abolished on May 16. Later, the 36th Amendment created Sikkim as a full state and added its name to the Constitution's first schedule. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Libor sometimes seen in the news. 1. It is the global reference rate for unsecured short-term borrowing in the interbank market. And 2. It is administered by the Intercontinental Exchange or ICE. You have to select the correct statement with the help of the given options, and options are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. And the correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Recently, the Reserve Bank of India or RBI has asked banks and financial institutions to adopt by July 1 a widely accepted alternative reference rate to complete the transition from the scandal-hit London interbank offered rate, that is Libor, and Mumbai interbank forward outright rate, that is MIFOR. Libor is the global reference rate for unsecured short-term borrowing in the interbank market, hence statement 1 is correct. It acts as a benchmark for short-term interest rates. It is used for pricing of interest rate swaps, currency rate swaps as well as mortgages. Libor is administered by the Intercontinental Exchange or ICE, hence statement 2 is correct. It is computed for 5 currencies with 7 different maturities ranging from overnight to a year. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next and the last question. Consider the following statements regarding World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. Statement 1. It is celebrated every year on 16th May. And statement 2. The theme of this year is empowering the least developed countries through information and communication technologies. Which of the statement or statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, or D. neither 1 nor 2. And the correct answer is option B. 2 only. Recently, the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day or WTISD was celebrated. WTISD has been celebrated annually every 17 May since 1969. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. It marks the signing of the first International Telegraph Convention and founding of International Telecommunication Union or ITU in 1865. The theme of WTISD 2023 is empowering the least developed countries through information and communication technologies. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The 5th Conference on the Least Developed Countries or LDC-5 in Doha, Qatar has set out an ambitious new United Nations program of action to deliver on sustainable development for all by 2030. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Okay, now it's time for the practice question. And the question is, consider the following statements about CNG and LPG. Statement 1. CNG is mainly a gaseous mixture of propane and butane. And statement 2. LPG is mainly a methanol in liquid form. You have to select the correct statement with the help of the given options. And options are A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, or D. neither 1 nor 2. So that's it for today. Don't forget to answer in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next session. Till then, Jai Hind.